Allora, paesano, mi scusi, ma when you deal with Italians, sometimes they will use the word promessa. Sì, posso fare, I'll do it. Yeah, non c'è problema. They'll say, yeah, I'll do it. You'll never hear from them again. They'll promise you a certain product and a certain date, price, unit, and everything, and you'll never hear from them again. It's just the Italian way. But can we say it's a bad way? Ours is a good way? Again, ours, ich lebe schon seit 18 Jahren in Deutschland, our German way is we say what we're going to do. In other cultures, they don't do that. They're just being friendly, and it was nice talking to you. That's the best way to explain it. They take differently. Okay, so when we say Europe, again, we're dealing with several different cultures, but generally speaking, the Germans, the Dutch, the Scandinavians, the Belgians, the Swiss, Austrians, and the British are actually quite similar. So when we compare this European culture as opposed to North American, we have three different Hauptunterschiede. We have 3 points where we look and we say, it's different. We have exaggeration. This, man, that was awesome. Yeah, good job, man. Saw your presentation. You're the man. That was killer. You blew the roof off the place. Was heißt das? Ich habe deine Präsentation gesehen. I watched your presentation. Doesn't really mean it's good if American talks like that. Okay, hey man, where are you from? Germany? Yeah, my granddad is, I think it was German. What was he? Irish? Yeah, whatever. That's my business card, man. You're cool. Yeah. You ever been to Florida? No? That's where I live, Florida. Here, have my business card. Come over sometime. We'll do barbecue, man. We'll hang out. They'll never remember you again. You can't call them. Okay? So this exaggeration, Übertreibung, this exaggeration which the British don't do, Germans don't do, you have to judge a little carefully, what is this person really intending, okay? Another one is this division between, the German division between private and business life. Because if you're German or you've been here long enough, you know that the German mind is schizophrenic, and divides between the business style and socializing or fun or blah blah or this unnötige. And if we have external guests, then they feel more comfortable. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody has the copies. I'm Ryan Lamb. I'm a linguistics expert. I'm a docent on the Mannheim, blah blah, serieux. You can listen to me. And turn to the copies, page 3. And Germans feel very comfortable with that. In other cultures, they wonder, is der schlecht drauf? Because it's too much to the point. And they'll feel like this guy doesn't want to be here. And it could turn some people off from other cultures. You understand? You think, there's something's wrong with this guy. And then, of course, the Germans feel more comfortable after the official presentation. I say, vielen Dank, and everybody claps, 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 and I walk away. If they see me at the Eingang, the Hof, at the coffee Echo, whatever, then they ask 20 questions, and suddenly they're human. So a perfect example, I remember when I in my first full year, because I landed here in 2001, at one of the companies I taught, I had a 56-year-old gentleman who was an older colleague. He was closer to retirement. Some typical name, I forget, Bernhard or Fritz or something. So if he's still alive, I have no contact. 18 years later, the man would be 74, about the age of most of your opa, your grandfather. So think about the way he would have talked to me 18 years ago. As I was doing his company business English language training, I started every meeting by saying, guys, tell me something. What should we tell? I don't care. The news. Tell me about your something. I didn't care, as long as it was English. I wanted each person, because 18 years ago, the level wasn't as high as now. Your level right now today is much higher than 12, 15, 18 years ago. The English level has extremely risen, much higher. And so I would make them talk. And then, when I handed out the articles that we could read something, Unterlage, some piece of paper, I would say, okay, great, here's an article, and this man, I was new, it was my first 2 months, he would sit up straight in his chair, do a very German, and his face would change, and he would say, oh, jetzt wird gelernt. Now we're learning something. Think about your grandpa's generation, even a lot of your parents. Reading and writing, that's their strongest, also you guys. Understanding what you hear, the comprehension, Hörverständnis, that's weaker. What's the weakest point for all of you in your English? The speaking. You don't get better at speaking by reading articles every week. You get better at speaking by speaking. So this is what I was doing from my very first day with every lesson, and he couldn't understand it. The fact that he said, I'm looking at a piece of paper, now we're learning, showed me this division. You understand? So the North Americans don't have this. We have a lot more compliments, what you call oberflächliche, blah, blah, superficiality. Does it mean anything? Yeah, awesome presentation, man. You gotta check this out. Yeah, we're gonna hang. Come visit my house. Yeah. Okay. Superficiality. Übertreibung. Okay. Man, come check out our company, man. You wouldn't believe the sales. We're going global, man. We're blowing the roof off the place. Really? Right? And then this division gone that it's changing. Your generation, because you're so influenced by American series and movies, a lot of you find it more fun to watch Game of Thrones in English than German. I understand. So you're not as German as your parents or your grandparents. But me being the immortal DHBW I am, I've watched your generations change. So you feel more comfortable in the room, and then the guy could ask you about, first time in the States? Oh no, you've been in Florida. Yeah, Disney. Did you check it out? Oh yeah, okay, cool, whatever. And he'll talk about everything except the presentation topic. Everything else, but not the Wesentliche. So he'll ask about your kids. You play golf. Oh, it is for your first time. Okay, what do you think of America? Don't say anything negative. They want to hear it's the greatest country on earth. Okay, so just being aware of these aspects. From the North American side, we have more superficial language, but think back to the German examples. This Guten Appetit, Morgen, Mahlzeit, Tschüss. It's actually the same thing. You understand? Stuff will come out of their mouth. It's not seriously meant, but it has a certain function. Last example of this. A lot of Germans, they say to me, Ryan, wie sagt man eigentlich Guten Appetit? When you eat with the Americans, how do you say, is it enjoy your meal? I say, no, that's if you're the service, the waiter, staff, the Kellner. Oh, okay. What do you say? We say nothing. So the more you get to know the English-speaking world, you can say, no, we say nothing. We say nothing. We just don't, we eat. And then the Germans, they always say, oh, that's not polite. Wie unhöflich, right? That you don't say what the word you have in the German language. Now, in the Japanese language, we have a fixed word at the start and the end of the meal. Fixed means if I have a lunch with 20 different Germans, I'll hear 19 or 20 times Guten Appetit, lass dir schmecken, gute. Okay? Eat lunch with 20 Americans, 5 guys say nothing. One guy says, oh man, I gotta eat fast, I got a presentation. One guy goes, the chili? Man, we've had this for 3 weeks. There's nothing fixed, understand? Okay? In the Japanese language, it's the beginning of a meal, hai, itadakimasu. Finish the meal. We signal the end of the meal, hai, gochizou-sama deshita. So from the Japanese side, what do you say in German at the end of the meal? Nothing, right? 20 Germans eat, end of the meal, 5 get up and walk away. One guy says, chili. One guy says, oh, ich bin spät dran, ich muss abhauen, so, alle Tschüss und jump. There's no fixed begriff. But is it unhöflich? You understand? Because it exists in one language, it doesn't mean it exists in the other. Everybody follow my point? So you have to look at this when you look at North Americans. Okay? Canadians and Americans were very similar. Canadians were a little bit less loud, were a little bit more, you could say a little more in the direction of Europeans, but not as much as the British. The British are much more similar when you have to have a meeting with them and discuss prices and how many do you want to order with the British. It's very similar, okay? One perfect example, same language, Britain, USA, they both speak English, but the way they'll introduce themselves in a presentation, completely different. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan Hayashi, an instructor for English at the University of Mannheim. I'm a teacher at the Lehrstuhl Handel. I'm going to talk about negotiation strategies and I hope you find it interesting. Very blah, blah, blah time for tea, ha ha. The American way, and I'm speaking to you like a German, because now this is my German mode. It's been schon eingedeutscht, although you guys are having fun and high energized. If you were in a room with me full of Americans, just in September I was in Las Vegas, October I was in Hollywood, Washington, D.C., it's different. How you guys doing? You having a good time? Are you ready to see the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life? Younger generation Germans. That's more the American style reaction. I didn't say anything, just nonsense, but it's getting in tune with it. Gets them hyped, gets them excited. Okay? Actually, my Washington, D.C. Speech was how I apply 400-year-old samurai code into my modern business life. And afterwards they said, the hype was awesome, but I gave too much facts. It was too Sachlich. And I realized I was too German. It's true. And then just last week I was at the Europäische Schule for Management Technology in Berlin, the ASMT, and it was Thema, the role of perception in marketing strategies. I toned it down and it was really, really dry. And they said it was the funniest thing they'd ever seen in their life. So it's relative. Everything's relative. Mio paesano italiano, ho capito? Okay, see? That just came out of my mouth, it was instinct. If I were in Italy now, I'd try to find the closest to the front row, some lady wearing a tight dress, and then I'd just say something slimy, and all the Italian guys would be, he's okay. All right, how are we doing for time? Last 10 minutes, I'm going to talk a little about the fascinating